Yeah, Shalom, this GMS Wisconsin, here again to bring you truth on top of truth, filtered through the scriptures, but on the book, the Willie Lynch letter. Now, as you can see, this book that I have, and then this will be another one that you can buy too.
Yeah.
Now, the only difference between these two books is the introduction to the book. And don't get the shit off the internet. The internet don't give you nothing but what that introduction of what you just watched give you. We gonna give you the rest. So the introduction is, this book has the introduction.
Yep.
This one doesn't. And this one has, at the end of it, Dear Black America. And if you stick around and watch this whole documentary, then you will understand why it's good to get this one. They have Dear Black America in it, and it looks like this.
Yep.
Then getting this one that doesn't have it. But buy both of them. Why not? Okay, so we're going to get right into it.
Start first. Page 1.
Yeah, so you go on page 1, the introduction, of course. And go ahead, you can start.
Gotcha.
I'll read the scripture.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all just start up here.
Gotcha. Okay, it says introduction. The infamous Willie Lynch letter gives both African and Caucasian students and teachers some insight concerning the brutal and inhumane psychological psychology behind the African slave trade. The materialistic viewpoint of southern plantation owners that slavery was a business and the victims of chattel slavery were merely pawns in an economic game of debauchery, crossbreeding, interracial rape, and mental conditioning of a Negroid race they considered subhuman.
Let's stop right there.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm going to read the first scripture. As you can see, the background speaks for itself. Because this is after we got here and the treatment that was done to us. So this, come on, is Zechariah 11:5. Who possesseth slay them, you say anything? Who possesseth slay them, and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherd pity them not.
Right, that's why they called slavery a business, because these white men got rich off of it, and they ain't see nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, it basically said it's your manifest destiny. So,
Next.
again, just try to catch it within the time scale.
Gotcha. It says, within the time scale of African history, it was a relatively short period, a mere 1.5 centuries, for the most intensive phase of Atlantic slave trade to the advent of European administrations and dominance. It says, long before that, the slave coast had been chartered by the Portuguese and the people off the area west of Benin between the Volta River and the Lagos. European traders trace a cultural history which linked them with the earliest Yoruba settlements to the north and eastern borders of Africa.
Okay, so yeah, so as you can see, that's what it was about. And where did we go in there? You cut right there?
Yeah.
Okay, right, so I'm going to get a little bit into, the law on exactly what they supposedly did since we were a slave, because there's a such thing as called indentured servant. Yeah. And if you know your history, actually, indentured service was going on with us here in America. What's that? Nature knows no color line.
Gotcha.
Because I'll show it to you real quick. Since we're talking about it. This Exodus 21:1. And these are the judgment. Well, okay.
I agree.
Okay. Just 21:1-4.
Yep.
And I'm going to get the indentured service to show y'all.
This is Exodus chapter 21, verse 1. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. If thou buy a Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve.
Right. See that this is the law of indentured servant, and this is where they got it from, right out the Bible. And it showed you that the indentured servant was actually happening on what was called 12 years of slavery. Remember they had the white boy?
Yep.
He was drinking, he couldn't pay his bill.
Yep.
He was an indentured servant.
And in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. And as you can see, Esau didn't follow that law because they kept us and enslaved us until they killed us, and then groomed our kids to be the next set of slaves and killed them off. And it went on for generations and generations. Like I said, a century and a half.
Yeah, just go for it.
Okay. If his master had given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her masters, and he shall go out by himself.
Okay. Well, I see they ain't got it in here. They got emancipation, but I thought they had indentured servant. But no, these niggas just got emancipation proclamation. I ain't gonna read that. So I'm gonna pass y'all on that one. We're gonna keep going with the lesson at hand. Okay, now we're gonna go into another book to prove indentured servant too. Because don't think I was gonna let off that point.
Yeah,
was that page 102?
Yeah.
What did it say? First indentured service. Okay, because we're going to have to go from the first African introducer James thing.
Yep.
And yeah, just read that.
Yep. The next scripture is the Ecclesiastes 33.
Okay. Yeah, just start at the top.
This right here.
Yeah, first African.
Alright, this is Black Indian by William Lorraine Cotts.
Don't forget the lesson is about the Willie Lynch, but it actually trails into other books.
Page 102. It says, the first Africans introduced into Jamestown's economy in 1619 became indentured servants,
Oh, there you go. See that?
not slaves.
See that? Because what was the first setup of these crackers? Jamestown.
Yep.
So when they set that up, guess what we was when we first got here?
Indentured servants.
Right. So what? Guess what the law is on indentured servants?
That's it.
6 years you hold them, 7 years you let them free.
Yeah. Upon their release, they became part of the Virginia colony. Some became landowners, and one, Anthony Johnson, ruled an African community. Ruled an African community of 12 homesteads and 200 acres in Virginia's Northampton County.
You pull that shit out.
I'm fighting with it.
Yeah, just keep going. Keep going. Cause watch this.
Yep.
It started off like you all good, but watch this.
In the 1630s, the rules of indenture began to change.
Oh.
It became legal to hold Africans or Indians for more than usual 7 years.
So not just us, but Gad and Reuben too,
Yep.
and Issachar, and Asher, and Naphtali. Go ahead.
Even for life.
Even for life.
The change began on the English ruled islands of Barbados, when the governor announced that Negroes and Indians should serve for life, unless a contract was made to the contrary. And beginning in 1636, only whites received contracts of indentures. British America had taken a large step in dividing labor by race and reserving the worst for dark people.
See that? Just like today, black and brown get the hardest job.
Yeah, the factory jobs or the restaurant jobs, while the white man get the business
Executive,
executives, CEOs. It says more and more white laborers were pouring into the 13 British colonies, and masters did not want them making common cause with Africans or Native Americans.
Right, meaning he don't want you to get along. This gonna trail us right back into the Willie Lynch.
Masters had probably concluded their profitable labor system would work only as long as whites did not see their condition and fate as identical with non-whites. In 1636, a Massachusetts Indian became the first North American to be legally enslaved. Sentenced to work until he died, a decade later, Governor John Winthrop thought of the idea of seizing Narragansett Indians to exchange for Africans. Around the same time, British commissioners meeting in New Haven, also decided